Welcome to those near and far. Welcome to As Luck Would Have It. This is a special Halloween episode, and especially special since Mom's not home and the children get to play on their own. The inmates are running the asylum. And this is where Sako, this is where Sako runs the titles. And then C. All right, let us meet our mages. And for today, I am not one of them. So we'll start with Auron.
I'm Lloyd Colman, otherwise known as Geek 5150, and I am Auron Pritchard.
Alan.
My name is Katarina Aubrecht, and I'll be playing Portia Levoy. And I don't know why there's two of me on screen, so sorry about that.
I was hoping you were going to do like a double character with nobody knowing, and I'm here for it.
All right, Alan.
I'm Alan, and I'm playing John Staunton.
I'm Christina Poe, and I'll be playing Raena Tremblay.
Excellent. And there goes the copy. No, what happens technically if you have like a glitch and it pops and it like temporarily disconnects you, when it reconnects you, it connects you as a new avatar and window. And your old one just has to time out.
So basically, we just have to worry about doppelgangers.
Mirror universe.
All right. Our story tonight takes place someday on an undisclosed date. We start with a message from the professor, and it says, "Please come to my office." And it is to everyone.
Auron would text back, let me finish one thing real quick, and I'll be right there.
All right.
Portia heads to the office.
Raena just sends a thumbs up and goes down to Raena.
All right. So fast forward to when everyone is actually there. And I guess Auron will be the last one coming in.
Always fashionably late.
And she calls you all in. And she is sitting there with a black cat on her desk. And she's not petting it. It's just sitting there quietly staring at you. And she looks at the four of you and she says, "We have a problem. There is a young mage, freshly awakened, that I have been in contact with, trying to help out, but she is a senior in high school, and she is not able to stay at this place because she is still under her parents' roof and everything. Her name is Jet Blackthorn. The problem is that Jet informed me that some of her friends were taking up witchcraft, and while that's not a problem, I sent Max, because he is well versed in Prime Sight, to infiltrate the group and see if any of them are close to awakening."
And Portia's standing near the back, kind of looking at the cat with mistrust, and the cat is here because...
I will get to that.
Auron just gives Portia a side eye.
Portia shrugs and is like, "Cats freak me out, man. Jeez."
The problem is he was supposed to check them out and return within a couple of days, and that was 3 days ago. As of last night, I have no contact with him.
What would you like us to do, Professor?
I will, how will I put this delicately?
Kick his butt. No, I don't know.
Jet Blackthorn is with us.
Ah, the cat.
And the cat looks at you and says, "Yes, yeah, I'm, hi." And she lifts a paw and waves at you.
Hello. digs in my purse, pulls out some dried jerky. I hope you jerky. I don't know. I don't have catnip. Is that rude? Ah! And then Portia just sort of sinks to the floor.
I wouldn't know what is and isn't rude. I've only been a cat for like 8 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, here you go if you want it.
Well,
She
I
sits it on
think
the
the
table and
first
scurries
test,
back to the corner.
I think the first test should be to give her some catnip. Only 30% of cats aren't affected by it, and nobody younger than sexual maturity are affected by it. But we should see if it affects her.
Well, I don't know. I don't have any catnip, but Raena might.
Auron just turns around and looks at Portia. She's not actually a cat.
Yes, right. Yes, of course. Yes.
So, how did you turn into a cat?
That's the problem. I don't know. I
What?
got knocked out, and when I woke up, I was a cat.
Oh, that's nightmare shit right there.
Well, that means your friends are probably involved.
That's the thing. I mean, I talked to Max the whole time he was with us, and as far as he could tell, none of them were awakened. None of them were on track to be awakened.
Doesn't mean there wasn't one nearby.
Is this Max's villain story? Did he do it?
We shall see.
I would like to scan the cat with Prime and Life and see if there's something special here, like, I don't know, lupine genes or something.
Well, with Life, she looks like a cat. There is nothing untoward about her physical form. But you can see with Prime that it is locked into her. It's super complex. It is definitely magical, and the pattern does not match her magical pattern. So somebody did this to her.
I'd like to add Spirit One to that.
Was it a
Anything
dark
special?
wizard or mage?
Well, spirit magic will let you check for the dead and undead. And in this case, nothing is registering.
Okay.
Does every magician have their own magical signature? Is that something? What's the thing?
Yes. The thing about the signature is talented mages can figure out who cast a spell through the signature, but someone who just has like Prime 1 can hold two patterns up next to each other and see if they match. And in this case, it's just like looking at them saying that's not the same.
Gotcha.
But it's like fingerprints.
So we might be able to tell the mage who did this, or a wizard, or
I don't think we have anyone with that ability, with that
Rats.
level.
Could we go to the other world and find somebody who could maybe run some more sophisticated tests?
Quite possibly, but and this is Jet who's saying this. I think we might need some speed on this because and she pushes a phone with her paw to the front of the table, and the main page is lit up with the last message from the professor to the group chat that says, "This is Max's phone."
Shit.
Well, let's take her into the Umbra and go to the location of a medical clinic or hospital and run some tests and see what that comes up with.
You mean to what's the place called? Oh, I'm having an old person brain fart. Yeah, Horizon. Horizon takes hours to get to.
Well, what we can do is
phone call, text message, Skype chat.
John, Portia, and Raena. Portia and Raena, since you look young, how about we send you two with John to where Max was last known location.
Okay.
Me and the professor could take Jet to Horizon. Keep constantly messaging the group. Just to almost kind of like a play-by-play.
Just to keep an eye on the other people involved, possibly?
Yeah. And just keep texting constantly to the group so that we know that something hasn't happened.
I think I have the ability to disguise. Hang on. Or maybe my other character.
I mean,
has
either
me.
way, I would prefer if all of you continually message the group, whether you're disguised or not,
Okay.
because if the messages stop, we know something's going on.
Fair enough.
And Jet says, so I'm going with the three of you.
Well, you are going with me and the professor to Horizon. I'm telling the other three to go where Max and them are to see if.
I don't remember the directions to get there. I just have like this.
Do you know the name of the place?
It's an old shack in the forest.
Jet, do you know, even though you don't know where it's at, do you know a general direction from here that it could be at? Like north, south, east, west?
It's to the south of us.
South, okay.
I can remember by sight, but not by direction.
Well, the reason why I asked is we've got, Raena has a contact on her land, and maybe they would know if there's a, what was it called again? The node, what they called it, what the werewolves called it.
Oh, Cairn, I believe?
Yeah, cairn. If there may be a cairn that might be nearby, maybe Raena can find out. Because I feel kind of, I don't want something else happening to you, since they've already, and yes, this is me assuming, that since they've already done this to you, what else they would do to you if you showed back up.
I don't know. I'm worried about my friends and Max and the new guy.
New guy?
Yeah, we brought in this college guy. Oh, so hot. Oh my god. His name is Soren. Oh my god, he was beautiful.
Of course it is. Of course his name is Soren.
Flying.
All right. With that, John, you're on protection duty with that.
Right.
Because if this didn't happen until after he showed up, he probably is already awakened. But he's probably hiding it well.
Right.
And since you're better at detecting these things than especially me, you'd be the best one to lead on that.
Understood.
Should I give you, like, do you want to know what happened? Like, what I remember?
Oh, of course.
So, we met Soren 2 nights ago. He was in contact with one of the other guys in our group. And we went to the place he was living. It looked like some newly built, like, starter home type of thing. They were really excited because he had an old book from one of his ancestors. He said it was a grimoire, and we were like super into seeing it. And then so we went and we met him. He said that this old place in the forest was her home, and we would go there, I guess, last night to see if we could, contact her using the book. We went there and we started doing the ritual, and then I was a cat and not inside the house anymore.
Where did you wake up at?
I was outside the house, but with Max's phone somehow.
Yeah, I definitely have this feeling that this guy, Soren, is the one responsible for this. What happens to be his last name? Did he tell you?
Sanderson.
All right. Before we do anything, and he'll look at Portia and Raena, I'm going to get a hold of Panda.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Because she found out information on my family. Well, and he does air quotes, family. She could probably find out something about this guy.
Agreed.
All right, I'm going to go make a call. And he will go back to his room and set up his phone with his computer so he could do a video call to Panda.
Okay. Yeah, she answers, Auron, interesting to hear from you again.
Well, we just had an issue pop up, and one of our group got caught up in it. And one of the members that were involved is here, and she got turned into a cat.
Okay, that can be fixed with life magic. If someone don't you have a really strong life magic user?
Yeah, he's kind of the one that got caught up in it.
Oh shit,
I have like 3.
not enough.
You're not there. Well, she gave us a name of a college age guy that just recently joined their group. She's the only one that's awakened. She's a senior in high school, and they were getting into witchcraft. But this guy came in and told him about this apparent book that he owns from his past family. But we do have a name, and as you know, I'm willing to pay to find out information.
Of course.
I need any information, and preferably as quick as you can, on a guy by the name of Soren Sanderson.
All right. I will get on that. Any other names you want me to look into?
Not at the moment, but I will let you know.
We should look into Jet Blackthorn also, since we're here. We don't know if they're friend or foe.
But anyway.
I agree with that.
Guys, I'm the only one in the call. You guys aren't there.
Oops.
It's hey, we have psychic calls where we are all.
We're group texting.
Anyway.
We're group texting.
But yeah, I want to know any group affiliation, anything that's involved with his name.
Will do.
All right. Just send me a DM with how much I owe you, and I'll transfer it over.
Will do.
All right. Talk to you soon.
I should say, Roger that.
All right. I'll talk to you soon then.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye. So, what is the plan at the moment?
Well, once Auron gets back downstairs to the group, I want to wait a little bit. I got a hold of Panda, and she's going to look into this guy. As soon as we get some preliminary information, then I would say you 3 go try to find it. I'm iffy about... Well, actually, at this point, we might as well all go. But I'm going to stay back out of sight.
You don't want us to do recon now?
Well, we're still going to do it, but we're all going. But I'm staying out of sight because of the fact that what has already happened. I don't want to cause extra collateral damage in case something happens.
Gotcha.
But I will say that the 5 of you could go ahead, and I could try and monitor from, does everybody here have a flannel shirt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you, Professor?
I wouldn't be.
Of course I do.
Well, this will be needed for the moment, because what I'm going to do, or what I want to do, is everyone has their phones in their pockets with the camera facing out. I'm going to connect through the group chat to watch everybody's angles.
Check their butts.
Check mine thoroughly.
And who's the one that said that?
Raena.
No, I'm saying check the butts.
Oh, oi!
Jet says, sorry, reflex.
That's fine.
You're in good company.
Oh, good.
But yeah, to me, it sounds like a good direction to go. And then also, with the fact I'm staying out of sight, if something goes bad, then I can come in.
Are you going to record these feeds for further review?
I could if you want that to happen, I could probably rig it that way and
Yeah, let's do
stream it to a drive in my room.
And at that moment, the professor's phone rings, and she picks it up and she's like, yeah? Wait, slow down. What's going on? Can you handle it on your own? We're kind of in the crisis right now. Fine. I will be there as soon as I can. And she hangs up the phone and says, I have to trust you guys on this.
What's wrong?
Dee Dee is in crisis.
Oh, geez.
Fuck.
I need to go make sure that their chantry is safe.
Sure, of course.
All right, just keep us in the loop. Jet, we'll keep you with Raena. You're not afraid of dogs, are you?
I wasn't. I don't know if I should be now.
Well, I only asked because Raina's avatar is a dog and it has a physical form, so I wasn't sure in your normal life if you were afraid of dogs.
Not in normal life. Does Raena, does your dog go after cats?
If I tell him not to, he won't. He's a good boy.
Okay, then that shouldn't be a problem as long as because I'm not actually a cat.
Yeah, because I say like Cosmos seemed fine with the cats in my room, but he was a little bit kind of afraid of them because, well, Fang is kind of domineering.
So the professor grabs her keys and hauls tail out of there. So Jet says, okay, so should we go? I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, partial change too since Professor can't go with us. Raena, do you have like a zip up hoodie?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Go get that, and because I'm trying to think of Jet's safety.
What if we got there's these things for carrying an infant? It loops over the mother's neck and shoulder, and it's just a band of cloth that can wrap around the infant or open up.
And Jet throws this one out. What if I just stay back in the car or vehicle with Auron?
Okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
I mean, there's not much I can do as a cat besides get you there.
Okay.
You'd be
Then we'll do
surprised at
that
what you
then.
can do. Wait. You'd be amazed at what you can do as a cat. People wouldn't consider you a threat. You can stick your head in places that we can't. You have switchblades on 4 of your limbs.
Tiny, tiny little switchblades.
Enough to get someone's attention.
True. Shall we go?
All right, we're going to have to go through Raina's portal to access her car because the professor has her van with her.
I am going to give you this one that Raina's car has made it to the chantry.
Yay!
Freebie.
He stops for a second. Wait a minute. No, can't do that because then the kids wouldn't have any protection. Never mind.
Do what?
He was thinking about having Sarah come with them, but then there would be nobody there for the kids.
This is true.
So
If I have to stay back and babysit.
no, because
Oh, thank God.
he laughs to himself and kind of like pinches the bridge and says, "You don't have to worry about that. It was just a thought, and then I forgot we don't have anybody to go replace her." So
Before we leave, I'm going to go pull a maul out of my trunk. I'll have that with me.
Like a weapon, Maul?
Yeah, it's a wood cutting axe about 3 feet long with a big ass head.
Sexy.
are we planning on building a log cabin?
Is anyone else taking anything with them to this cabin?
Since Orn's staying in the vehicle, he's bringing his laptop with him.
Cell phone, general kit for like first aid, extra charger, some snacks, some wink winky snacks, extra rope, pocket knife, general
Bringing my
odds and ends.
Okay,
I'm bringing my pistol and a pocket knife.
sounds good.
I have my bow, Cosmo, just in case I have my bow. And I also brought like a whole jar of pickle juice.
As you're walking out to the car and Cosmo sees Jet, Cosmo's head cocks to the side and he sniffs her and she is like, "Hey, watch it." And Cosmo jumps back, but he seems more curious than anything else because to him that's a person, but also a cat, but also a person. And he's confused as fuck.
Hello, my name is Cosmo. Do you want to play with the ball?
Or would probably walk up next to Cosmo, kneel down, and start petting him. Just kind of break the his immersion with the cat.
Okay, so as you are driving, Jet is standing with her back paws near the gear shift and her front paws on the dash, just giving directions.
That's adorable.
She's Saleming it.
Slight issue is that her butt is like right up against your gear shift.
Don't hit any bumps, am I right?
Yeah, as she gets you out of town, she is like, "Okay, turn here, this looks really familiar, turn here." And eventually you turn off this dirt road into this long ass driveway and you reach this rickety ass house. And she's like, "Yep, that's the place."
All right, Raena, park a good distance away.
Okay.
And just remembering it,
Do we bring anything for burn cleansing? Oh my gosh. I'm not sure these stairs are going to hold, y'all. My boots are heavy.
And I just remembered about this. It was after the mission to New York. Auron's antenna is still in Raina's car.
Okay.
So if there's low cell reception for him, he's going to pop the antenna on top of the car so he could stream the stuff to his room's computer.
All right. Who's going in?
Well,
What do you mean by
as far as
in?
I know,
mean, I guess I'm on the in team, though I would like to state for the record I am out of the closet.
But are you out
my
of the
most
cabin?
recent
The world may never know.
my most recent instructions were to protect the ladies, so I'm going where they go.
And Auron's staying back at the car with Jet.
I'm going in.
All right. So those of you who go in, walk in to a very large open area. It's like a large sitting room that's been cleared. Dead center is a table with a candle on it, and the flame is glowing black.
Ooh, spooky.
I guess virgins and not virgins are going to help us here. Should I start singing and quoting Hocus Pocus? I put a spell on you. I sing. No, never mind.
And DMCA.
That is the first thing you notice, but just after that are the bodies. 5 high school girl bodies.
Auron would chime over the headset.
I assume they're dead. Oh God. Guess I'm going to check for a pulse on the first one I come across.
Checking for a pulse, there is none. And since you are inspecting them, I would like you to roll, and there will be a slight delay as I remember to open a character sheet so I can see what the stats are.
was about to ask, what do you want me to roll?
It will be perception plus medicine. And while she's rolling, what were you saying, Alan?
What's the difficulty?
Sorry.
Difficulty what?
Okay, difficulty is 6, and we will let Alan finish the sentence.
Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
Instead of checking pulses or breathing or anything, I'm going to roll each one over, look at the skin that was in contact with the floor, and judge by the bruising how long they've been dead.
So I would like you to also make that perception plus medicine roll. I will say that from the bruising, it
I
looks...
failed. It's so
I
sad.
see that. That was just a noticing check, and Alan might notice it, so it's fine.
Even though I assume that he's not there, through the video stream to coming from their phones to Auron, do I see any kind of signs of where Max was?
I will let you roll perception, because that's definitely a perception, and awareness. Actually, is awareness better or investigation?
Awareness is generally for supernatural things.
In our games, have been using it for just general noticing stuff.
For me, the better would probably be investigation.
Then use that.
Okay, difficulty?
Well, 7, because you're looking through a computer.
And you told me mine was 6, right?
Correct. Excellent. Okay, so Alan, what you see is that these bodies have been on the floor basically like since the night before. But the other thing you notice, puncture wounds in all of the necks. 2 of them.
And I'm assuming Auron would see this through John's camera.
But John was not set up with a camera.
Well, they're using their phones
Mm-hmm.
for the camera. And it's basically streaming to Auron, and then anything that Auron captures gets sent to his home drive.
Well, then it is up to Alan whether he wants to show that.
I will show it, and I'll also announce it to the group with me. Hey, everyone, it looks like we have skeeters.
Is it 2 puncture wounds or 1?
2.
2? You'll hear Auron chime over from his headset. Don't fucking tell me it's another vampire.
And,
I won't tell you.
Through your successes, Auron, you notice that one of Max's composition books is like way off to the side of the room.
Auron would say, hey, Raena, or whose camera is it coming from? Is it Raena, Portia, or John?
It is something that Portia is seeing. Well,
Okay.
it's pointed towards.
Okay, so Portia, go across the room. Do you see that notebook?
Yes.
It looks like one of Max's.
All right. I go over and pick it up, and I start opening the pages to the camera. Also,
Before
should we contact that vampire person? Maybe he can help. Should we? I don't know.
We'll wait on that.
Anti-vampire guy? Okay.
the first thing you notice when picking this notebook up is it is being held, well, not completely open, but it is definitely bulging open, and what's holding it open is Max's glasses.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck.
And
what's it open to the page?
On the page it says, "Not a mage, not a mage, not a mage."
Oh, Jesus. You're
Fuck.
catching this?
You just hear Auron over the headset. Fuck.
And I just say, what?
Do what?
Whatever holds still long enough.
I'm missing something.
Raina's across the room, so she doesn't know what they're seeing. I just asked what.
Gotcha.
Somebody said fuck, then Raena said what, and I said anything that holds still long enough.
Yes.
But Auron comes over the headset. Raena, it's probably another goddamn vampire, and from what I just saw, what Portia just showed me from inside the book, he stated it's not a mage. So we've got to be dealing with a fucking vampire again.
Oh, that's what it looks like over here.
I would like those who are inside another perception roll. This one with occult. And this is just to see if you can pick up a feeling.
Gotcha. I don't think I have a cold.
Doesn't matter, it's just your perception.
No, that's okay.
The difficulty is actually going to be 4. It's something that's been kind of itching as you went in.
2 6s.
Raena and Portia, you are feeling it's like goosebumps on the back of your neck, but it's touching your magic.
Ooh. This is freaky. We gotta have something to burn, right? I feel like we need something like sage, but not sage,
Auron comes over the headset. What's going on?
There is something creepy. It's like touching my insides, but my sparkly bits.
All right, everybody out.
And
Okay.
Actually, let me check the... so with 3 successes, Raena, you notice Cosmo is not there.
Have you guys seen Cosmo?
No.
You remember Cosmo coming with you to the door.
Okay.
But he is not in there.
I go and I check near the door and I open it.
He is outside, and he is standing at the threshold, whimpering.
I kneel down and I just kind of touch his head like, hey, what are you doing, dude?
As you touch him, his head moves forward and hits the threshold and stops.
Oh, jeez. What threshold?
Where the front door is.
Okay.
But not like a physical object. The actual.
Is it like a fake barrier? Like an invisible barrier?
It's invisible barrier. You can really notice that it's a magic free zone.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, if it's a magical free zone, how did she become a cat? Do we have that coin? I kind of think we should use the coin. I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay, so can I leave the room?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can leave. We're not trapped. Cosmo just can't come in.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
What were you saying, Ellen?
Does anybody let me know that it's a magic free zone?
I will. Hey, John, guess what?
What?
A magic free zone. Cosmo can't come in, and we can.
Okay. I'm going to start dragging the bodies out.
I assume Auron hears all this.
Yes.
Everybody out of the house. John, don't worry about the bodies. They're already dead. We can worry about that later.
Okay.
If there's a skater involved, they might get up and walk.
Then shut the door and block it.
Should we stake them?
Just get out.
Okay, we'll get out.
Somebody can take the stake out. I can destroy enough of the brain that raising them won't do anything.
Let's get idea rolls from everybody, and that will be wits and, well, we'll do wits and occult. So if you don't have occult, it's just wits. And it will be a difficulty of 7.
So Raena already stepped outside. I'm not leaving.
This is everybody.
Okay, cool. All right. It was wits and occult.
What was the difficulty again?
7.
7. Wits and occult.
I wouldn't be too scared about missing this one since John's got 3 successes.
Okay.
1 success.
So, Portia, you remember that candle's been going the entire time you've been in here. And John, you kind of have a feeling there's a connection.
Portia, can you deal with that
candle? The camera?
Candle.
Oh, shoot, the candle. So I go and I show the candle up close and all around. Can I pick the candle up?
Yes.
I pick the candle up and look under the bottom. Do I see anything?
No.
Is there anything special about the holder it's in? And how does it
not the holder,
feel?
but the flame is still black. And it feels like a candle, but it also metaphysically feels like it is sucking you.
Like it's sucking? Like my life force? Or just...
No, your sparkly bits.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Portia, what are you doing?
Like Portia. You would with a regular candle? What happens when I do that?
It kind of stings a bit,
okay.
But not physically.
Okay. Ooh, that was weird.
Like a metaphysical migraine.
And I put it down and like kind of have my head in my hands a little and shake it off. And then go for a wink winky cookie.
Okay, I'm going to look at the candle and flame with prime.
Pardon me?
I'm checking out the candle and the flame with prime.
You are not, because magic will not work.
It's a magic-free zone.
You
All right,
cannot touch your magic.
I will stop dragging bodies, and I will pick up the candle by the holder, take it outside. Is there a puddle, pond, lake, stream, anything like that around?
Not anywhere near, but as you move the candle, you can see out the door. You are pushing Cosmo physically.
All right,
as
I'll
you
move
move
slowly.
it closer to him.
Move it slowly to the door.
Okay.
But give him plenty of time to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's not hurting Cosmo; it's just repelling him.
Okay.
Everyone over the headset, everyone would hear Auron basically facepalm. Do you not listen?
What?
I said leave the house. So that means put the fucking candle back.
I thought you'd want to see it for like research. Are you taking screenshots?
I'm streaming video.
Oh, fair. Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me get my stuff.
Put it back.
We should take this notebook though, right?
Yes, the notebook
All
is
right.
fine.
Is there anything else I should pick up? Portia looks around.
Put the candle back. Block the door.
I'm not holding it anymore. What?
When you this is going out to everybody. Put the candle back. Close the door. Leave the building. Close the door and block it.
As
like
you are having this argument, a gust of wind comes by and blows out the candle, since Alan had been taking it near the door, and you can touch your magic without problem.
Can Cosmo come in now?
Yep. It was just the flame.
Should we run out still? I'm on the fence. I don't know. Maybe we should look some more. I start looking around the other bodies, maybe. I don't know. Should we stake them? I don't know. We should at least tie them. I pull out the rope and bind some hands and feet.
If we stake them, others can come along and pull the stakes out.
So we should take them with us.
Gone. No. All that's necessary is that the heads come away from the necks.
One thing you will notice is that the windows of this great room are southern facing, and these bodies have been in here all day.
It's starting to smell, guys. I think I'm going to go take a breath outside, and I walk outside to take a breath.
More like the sunlight from the window would have roasted them.
Okay. I will accept that as they're not getting up. And put my axe back in the car.
Jet is like, okay, what happened? What are you seeing in there?
Is she saying that Auron?
To Auron. He's the only one near her.
They don't know how to listen. There was a lit black candle and a candle with a black flame.
We lit that.
I kept telling them to leave the building because I don't know what was going on. Like, I don't want anything happening to them.
Yeah, when we lit that candle, Max said it made him feel funny.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing, but all I know is that people can't follow instructions. I'm the one that's supposed to, and none of this is going, none of you guys aren't hearing any of this. He looks her right in the eyes. I'm the one that's supposed to take risks.
But what about my friends?
Unfortunately, they're dead.
All of them?
That's how it appeared. All of them had vampire bites on them.
How many bodies?
5, and Max is not in there.
There were 12 of us.
Fuck.
What bodies were in there?
I don't know. All I know is that there was 5 girls.
I was the 6th girl. Everyone else was boy.
Sorry to break it to you, but your friend Soren is a fucking vampire. I've already had to deal with one of these bastards.
Can I confess something?
Huh.
That's kind of hot.
Well, yeah, this fucker's gonna die.
So, is there any way we can track them?
Well, I've got one of my contacts looking into him.
At those words, your phone rings.
Auron will tap his headset. Guys, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be back with you guys soon. And he will tap his headset again, get out of the car, shut the door, and walk a little bit of ways into the woods. And he'll answer the call.
It's Panda. She says, yeah, so your Soren guy died 15 years ago.
Yeah, we just figured this out. He's a fucking vampire.
Who's he fucking?
Let's be serious
Let me
here,
think about
Panda. But is that everything you can find on him? Like, what kind of past did he have?
He didn't have a past, but his brother had one of his brothers, I think he was one of us, but he went off the radar at the same time that Soren died.
Does he have any known aliases, the brother?
He was named Wilfred Sanderson. Since then I don't have
Sanderson.
Portia understands.
It's just a little hocus pocus.
Okay, since his brother was of age,
They've got another brother who is still alive, but he's not. He's boring, according to all this. I don't think he's even in the area.
well, if he's boring, we don't have to worry about him. Crap. We'll have to figure out a way of locating this brother because he probably ran as soon as he found out that sword was a vampire.
You said your friend is missing and probably with them?
Yeah.
Do you have anything of his that you could, have a correspondence person track him with?
We have 3 items. One that our professor has, and then we just found his glasses and one of his notebooks in the location we went to.
I would definitely say use his glasses. Did he leave them for you on purpose?
I think so, because in the note...
He wants you to track him.
Okay. Yeah, because in the notebook, it just said, he's not a mage, he's not a mage, he's not a mage. Which instantly tipped in my head that he's a vampire, on top of the fact that the bodies that were found have confirmed vampire bites.
Then I would definitely suggest getting on that, just as a word of advice. Try and get some correspondence magic to track him.
Do you know anybody?
Don't you have a pro correspondence person living at your chantry?
Which one is she referring to? Oh. Actually, yeah. Now that I think of it. Alright, thank you, Panda. I will, did you send me the DM with how much I owe you?
Yes.
Okay. I will send it to you on the way, on our way back to the, chantry.
And you notice that the amount isn't that high because it was an easy search.
Okay.
So are you relating to the others that you need to go to the chantry?
Yeah, he'll activate his headset. We need to go back to the chantry. We need to talk to Jeeves. Keep Max's stuff on you because we're gonna need it.
Raena puts on his glasses.
Everything gets all fish-eyed.
Is anybody face towards her when she does this?
Yeah, I am.
He comes back over the headset. Raena, why?
You said to keep them on us.
Not wear them.
Okay, I'm getting mixed signals.
Take the other person's prescription glasses off your face. Hang them on your shirt or put them in a pocket or something.
Okay, I'm having deja vu.
IRL. I feel like we've done this before. We're in the same exact spot. Like it's
So we will fast forward to the Chantry because Max is in danger. As far as you know, your danger sense and adrenaline is enough with that to get you to the Chantry.
cool.
And Jeeves is not hard to find.
Auron will turn around to whoever has the, I'm assuming Portia and Raena to get the notebook and the glasses.
I hand the notebook over.
And he will walk up to Jeeves.
Yes, Auron?
We have an issue, and we need somebody that knows correspondence. Max is missing. There's some really deep shit. We need a way to locate him.
Shouldn't be a problem with his belongings.
Auron
And
will hold out the notebook with the glasses sitting on top.
Jeeves leads you all to a side room and puts down a map of the city and nearby places. And he puts one hand over Max's glasses and notebook and closes his eyes and focuses and puts his finger down right on a spot on the map and says, "This is where he is."
In relative fashion, how far away is the location of where we are?
Probably like a half. Well, I mean, it's night in the city and you have to go through it, so it's like a half hour. It's just because of the inconvenience of the direction you have to go. It is kind of near Max's house, like a couple neighborhoods over.
Auron kind of turns around, looks at everybody. I'm going to assume this is this soaring guy's house. We need to get there. He'll turn back to Jeeves. Is there any way we could locate exactly which house it is since you won't be with us?
Yes, he pulls out a compass and casts his correspond. He makes it correspond to the glasses and everything, and he says, "Once you get in the general vicinity, this will point directly to it.
Okay, thank you, Jeeves.
The only problem is if there's any interference, it's only going to point you to the house, not to place in the house."
Well, as long as we can get to the house, that's fine. But
Okay.
this is pretty close to his own house, so this really worries me here.
It's a nice neighborhood. Big houses.
Yeah, it's a rich neighborhood. I'll try to keep you in the loop too, and I'll bring your compass back when we hopefully get Max back.
Okay. So back into Raina's car.
Yep.
Yeah, so you take the drive. No issues there, and you get to the neighborhood, and it points you to, as you suspected, a very nice, only 2 stories, but it's a nice house. It's more, you can see as you come up that it's got more floor depth and width than it does height. Like, it's sprawling.
And it definitely looks like new construction.
Not this house, no. And Jet's like, "Yeah, this isn't the house we went to. But if this is where Max is, this is where Max is."
With John being a military veteran with some combat experience, he's going to go into full combat mode, checking everything that might be a point of being observed, a camera, an ambush, anything. So just if anything comes up, please remember that when I get my perception check.
Okay, do your perception, which will be perception plus, I would say, well, pick pick computer, technology, or investigation, whichever is best for you.
They're all three the same. Okay, what's the difficulty?
The difficulty will be 6 because it's night. All right. Easy enough. You see nothing but basic. I mean, you recognize the name brand cheapo security system. Like this
Okay.
is not complex.
Which means it's probably the decoy. But I'll point that out to the others. There's a camera there, there's a camera there. There's idiot wires on the windows.
Auron would like to, or I would like to see if he's going to walk further into the property, like not too far, and he wants to see if he could pick up some kind of Wi-Fi signal from this house.
You try. You're noticing straight away that this is reading like a Faraday cage. Like no signals coming in or out.
Which also means that it's magically guarded.
Anyone want to check with magic? The difficulty is really easy because when you reach out with magical senses, you feel the exact same repellent that you did at the cabin, which means there are probably black candles in there.
I say we go to the hardware store, pick up fire extinguishers, use them to break open the doors and to spray down the candles.
Agree or disagree?
Sure, let's do it, I guess. I don't have any good ideas.
I guess I can grab me a sledgehammer.
Oh, geez. I don't know. Is there a magic spell we should try first?
No, it's
not.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to have to use mundane solutions at this point because of the anti-magic field. Okay. But yeah, I will fast forward to you have fire extinguishers and sledgehammer.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it to it, y'all.
I'm also going to get together a sheath for my maul and rope so that I can wear that almost like a sword. And I'm not getting one of those little fire extinguishers. I'm getting the one that's 3 feet tall and produces more carbon dioxide in a minute than a human does in a year.
Okay. All right. So your plan, now that you are geared up, is to do what?
We're going to enter the building, smashing doors using the fire extinguishers.
Or the sledgehammer.
Or the sledgehammer. Or my maul. We're going to use the fire extinguishers put out the candles and to control anybody around us, because like mine will produce temperatures of minus 125 degrees. Plus, I can discharge it and then set it down, and anybody touching it will get a nasty electrostatic charge.
Okay. So we'll go bit by bit. Crashing through the door, no problem.
Yep.
But when you get in there, you see that the hallways are lined with the black flame candles, except they are also encased. It's like
Auron will look at John. I smash him, you spray him?
Sure. Are they encased individually or in the same box?
Individually. All over the house.
You smash, I'll break.
You smash. Alrighty.
Okay, well, so for the smash, it's going to be strength and athletics, and it's a difficulty of 9. This is their security system.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care who comes in.
1 success.
So, if they don't care, should I try something? I don't know. Should we keep smashing? Should we go back and regroup? What's the goal here?
Try spraying a couple of the candles without smashing the box. See if we don't need to bother smashing.
The boxes that they are in, it is very thick, and you can see the wiring through the glass. It's super reinforced glass.
Okay.
And you actually don't see holes. So when you spray it, it's just making the room messy. The sledgehammer hit. I'm actually surprised you actually got a success on that.
Don't worry, so am I.
So you cracked one. You actually cracked one.
We cracked the candle?
The spray goes in and puts that one candle out. After that swing that Auron was powerful on, it's going to raise difficulty of future swings because that took a lot.
Okay.
He tapped into something.
Auron, hang on. I'll spray a couple of them that haven't been hit. Now hit them.
Okay, does that change difficulty at all, or?
The difficulty is, well, basically you need 2 successes. Because I can't make a difficulty 10 on a 10-sided die.
Okay.
So freezing them to minus 100 degrees doesn't weaken the glass at all?
Not this. There is more to these than meets the eye.
Can we hit it with our magic?
You cannot touch your magic.
These are anti-magic. So I need 2 successes at difficulty 9 then?
Yes. Basically, you need a perfect roll.
Well, I got 1.
So you are even more winded after this one, and you thought you put as much effort into it, and it just didn't. You weren't able to pull up as much as you did with that first one, and you're feeling it now. And the next one will require 3 successes, which means with only 2 dice, cracking these things is probably not going to be possible.
Okay. Can we take the candles from the house?
They are.
The box to get him.
Yeah, you gotta get the boxes are secured to. They're part of the fixture of the house.
Yeah, they're sealed.
Gotcha.
So, would you like to move forward? Because you hear some muffled struggling.
That kind of sounds like we don't have a choice.
Yeah, I guess.
You move towards it and down the main hallway. And you hear it through the double doors at the end of the hallway. It's sounding like Max's voice.
All right, do the doors open?
Easily.
Okay. Are there leeches?
No.
Or basically, are there threats?
There is only, well, inside the room it's a big empty space, and it looks like it is set up for a show, because at the far end of the room is a stage. On that stage, Max is tied to a chair, and 5 other young men are standing at vacant attention.
I know what's wrong with them.
And Max sees you guys come in.
I'm heading for Max. Full speed.
Well, here's the problem with that. The stage is caged.
Then, once I'm done heading toward him at full speed, which puts me outside the cage, I will remove the maul from my back and use it in an appropriate way, such as knocking bars off, knocking locks off, or, wherever looks best.
It is more of the same reinforced material that the boxes are made out of. And Max says, guys, it's not safe here.
No kidding.
Hence why we're getting you out.
There's 3 of them.
Good for them.
a vampire,
Not for long.
and a mage.
Fuck. I should have brought some steaks.
And
So
they
that-
have a demon.
So that means that the mage brother I found out about is here.
Brother?
Well,
The mage is a woman.
I'm going to start just experimenting with the glass. Can I push it gently? Can I pull it a little bit? Can I stick the blade of my pocket knife in between parts of it or into it?
As you're fiddling with it, Max is like, guys, the vampire has like entrancement powers. He made us follow him. He's beautiful. Anyway, Max kind of gets sidetracked with the memory. But yeah, it's the mage is a woman. I think maybe trans. The vampire is Soren, and their third brother is a human, but he's got a demon working for him.
Okay. Max.
And before you can do anything else, a curtain behind the stage opens up, and there are 3 figures there. One is a devastatingly beautiful young man, and I need everyone to roll. Okay, that's not a thing in this one. So we will have to go with, I will say, stamina. I wish there was like a mental stamina type of thing, because this is a mental attack type of thing.
Isn't that a perception check?
Or wits. Or willpower.
Yeah, wits is good.
Okay.
2 wits plus willpower. And we'll say difficulty 8.
Yeah, I think for this one I'm going to add a willpower. So that's MMW, right?
I think.
It's /MM, then the number, then the difficulty.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the beginning of that.
It's /MM space the number of dice space the difficulty.
Right, and if I want to add a willpower, isn't there a W in there?
Not that I know of. You just add an extra dice.
I got a freaking failure. How?
While you're rolling, I will describe the other 2. So on the right, there's the beautiful man. On the left, there is the most average middle-aged man you have ever seen. And in the center is a woman, you think, that looks like she took her image boards of Morticia Addams and Punky Brewster and married them.
I love that.
It is ungodly garish. And it is the woman in the middle that says, "Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction."
I love it. As Katarina.
Raena just quietly goes, dun, dun, dun.
And the guys say, "We are the Sanderson brothers." And
Yes!
And the sister.
Dun, dun,
and she says, "And the Sanderson sister, Dot."
dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to put you down just for that comment.
Or magiacs. And there's any to the man.
Animagiacs, I love that.
I really appreciate the zany to the max. Quite the pun on this one.
You're welcome.
Stepping up behind the man, behind the middle-aged guy, is, what video games think a demon female is supposed to look like?
Yeah.
Incredibly big busted and slutty looking.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's standing behind him.
Woo!
And I will look at her and I will say, wow, I've never seen so much silicone in two
Portia
places at once.
becomes
ever
very
before.
unable to think for a few minutes.
You haven't seen so much silicone in what?
I've never seen so much silicone in two places at once.
Okay, let me look at the rolls for failure, success. Okay, so let me ask you this, Portia. Well, ask
Yes.
Katarina this.
Huh.
Does Portia have any interest in males at all, or is she completely lesbian?
I was totally lesbianing it up with her.
All right. Then in that case, she just feels like Soren is really trustworthy.
Okay.
Auron is smitten.
Aw.
Auron is just like,
Remember when you checked mine that I also spent a willpower that's not on there?
yes, but you also succeeded, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It didn't work on you, regardless of willpower.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
She says, Max is coming with me. And she pulls open one of those grates that's got an elevator inside and pulls the chair back with Max in it. And she says, I'm sure you wonder what I'm going to do with him. You're shivering with anticipation.
Oh, really? You have to steal lines from Tim Curry.
And she closes the door, and the elevator goes upstairs. And Soren says,
oh no, I don't want to go up to the lab or see what's on the slab. Ah!
And Soren calls after her, I wanted to play with him. And you hear her voice come back.
I'm looking around for a red door.
No red door. You hear Dot's voice come back. You can play with him later. I need him. And then they're gone. And you hear a really faint, take the boys downstairs.
Oh, Rocky. Dr. Scott. Rocky.
And Soren goes, fine. And starts singing.
I'll shoot Soren.
The bullet hits the glass and it's one of those bulletproof things where it lodges in and makes a little crack but doesn't do much more. And you hear, come little twink boys, I'll make you all gay, deep in my underground playland. Come little twink boys, let's all go to play. All of these bitches are tragic.
So the actual horror here is the number of old movies you mix together.
And the boys follow. They're next to the elevator going up, you see like a stone arch, and it's Soren starts going downstairs, and the boys follow him.
Is there a way to get over the glass or around the glass, or can I break through the floor to get under it?
I want people to make it's going to be, it's perception plus empathy.
Okay.
To see if you notice a movement. See if you catch a movement.
What's the difficulty?
We'll say it's a 5. It's basically to see if you were looking in a certain direction at a certain time.
1 success.
No successes for Auron. Portia and John are catching it.
I'm sorry, what are we rolling? It got really loud.
It is perception plus empathy, and the difficulty is 5. All right. So Portia, John, and Raena all noticed that the demon rolled her eyes.
Oh,
And since I know this is something that Auron has, facial reading,
Yes.
I would like... Actually, do they point this out to Auron?
Yes.
Auron, there's like a freaking. She's winking. She rolled her eyes. She rolled her freaking eyes. What the heck, woman? Jesus Christ! Yeah.
So,
Overreactions.
Auron, I'm going to have you do perception plus empathy again, but this time with your bonus to read expressions. And the difficulty will be 4. The demon is not impressed with the people she's with.
As in us or the others?
The ones on her side of the cage.
Okay.
Hey, we
You can
could
see...
possibly offer you a better life, better friends at least.
Well, this is something that only Auron sees.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she's not impressed with them, and you're seeing a "I'm sick of their bullshit" sort of look on her expression.
Since Soren went downstairs, did the willpower I failed dissipate?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not so much dissipate, but out of sight, out of mind type of thing. You can still remember him.
But he can't control me as long as he's...
Yeah, there's no
gone.
control. It's more like, oh, he was...
Auron will just kind of... He'll look directly at the demon and just kind of cock his head to the side.
And the demon says to the middle-aged man, "Let's go to your office, Brandon."
Hey, wait a minute before you two leave. How do they treat you here?
She goes, "Fine." And he's like, "Come on, let's go, Beelzeboobs."
Well, we can not. We can live with you without objectifying you. Probably
She
got a
does
bit more
not
money
listen to
do it.
you as she follows him down a third hallway. But as she's walking away, you see her flick her hand, and a door at the side of the cage just barely pops open.
For that.
Auron will look over at John. There's our inn.
Yep.
What?
Who's going after who?
I'll go for
Go
next.
with whoever I can take down, man.
Well, as you go in there, are you going in there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
The cage that's holding the elevator is also sealed magically.
Is there a lever? Is there a lever or something to pull?
Is there a what?
A lever or a button or
Oh,
something?
lever. I thought you said river. I'm like, huh?
Do we feel our magic come back to us?
No.
Okay, so how do I call the elevator?
There is no button.
Is there any way to get through the glass here? Climb over it, climb under it?
Nope. There are 2 ways to go. Through the hallway or down the stairs.
I'll take the stairs.
To the hallway.
To the window.
I'll also take the stairs.
To the hallway with the walls. Down, down, down I walk. Crawl.
So we've
Do
got...
not have to fall. Okay.
Which way is Auron going? Is he letting Portia go on her own towards Brandon Sanderson and the demon?
Sudden death.
Yeah, he'll probably end up going for that direction because the other two are going the other direction. Did that go through?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Auron and Portia going after Brandon Sanderson, and John and Raena going downstairs after Soren.
Yes.
Okay.
So we will
And
follow
maintaining that
Auron.
military alertness.
Military alertness.
Maintaining that. Yep.
Okay.
Not getting ambushed.
We will follow Auron and Portia first. The hallway is not long, and it's a regular wooden doorway at the end.
Auron will
Okay.
turn to Portia and mime the
Mm-hmm.
zipper over his lips.
Portia nods and zippers and locks it and throws away the key.
Are you opening the door?
Auron will knock.
What? Why would you do that? I smack my forehead.
Gotta be
Um,
courteous.
So Brandon Sanderson opens the
I
door,
roll.
and he just cocks his head to the side and said, "You're following me? Why?"
I mean,
Even
why
though
not?
even though you're mundane, much more interesting.
Whatever, come in.
Yes.
And he goes and he sits at his desk, and it's a writing desk, of course.
Nah.
Auron will kind of cock his head to the side. What are you doing?
Surviving
What?
and getting published, actually.
Uh-huh.
Demon Pact and everything.
Yeah,
This seems like overkill to get published. I mean, I know the field's hard, but like, come on.
Oh, the boys and the mage? Oh, that's them. That's not me.
Sure.
Unfortunately, Beelzebub's here has the magic locks on everything, and I am not in control of her.
Auron will turn his head towards the demon. Is there another name you would prefer to go by?
No. Last time I told anyone my real name, she captured me, made me serve her and her vampire brother and human brother.
Yikes.
Well, I will just say that the name that he is using is not very a comfortable one for me to speak on.
That's the name I go by.
Would you be comfortable if I just called you Beazle?
Oh,
Sure.
boy.
All right.
Want to shake on it?
No.
She puts her hand back behind her head. It was worth a try.
Yeah, I've already met or seen another one of your kind, not someone who has objectifying body, but basically in the same service.
She puts her hand up to her décolletage and
Dude, yabos don't mean everything.
says, "Objectifying? Sir, this is my body. This is what I was born with. I'm objectifying nothing.
No, I'm not stating
Don't
you
be jealous."
I'm not stating you objectifying. I'm talking about others objectifying you.
You don't have to worry about that with me. I don't care. I'm a demon.
Even demons have feelings.
But irregardless. And yes, I used a bad...
Brandon Sanderson just goes, "Not a word."
Yeah, he kind of like, yeah, I know, but... Force of habit.
Anyway,
English isn't exactly my first language.
is there anything we can do for you?
The only thing that, well, not the only thing, the main thing is we want our friend back unharmed and nothing removed from him, including his magic.
Am I right in assuming your friend is Max?
Yes.
He's in danger of losing nothing but a few liters of reproductive fluid.
Yay.
You see, and Brandon swivels his chair around. You see, my sister really, really wants to learn life magic.
Then all she has to do is ask. She doesn't have to do something to someone to get them to teach her.
She's never been one to listen to the rules. She takes.
Oh, well, that seems to have gotten her places, I guess.
Yeah, if she can actually convince Max to teach her life magic, because, what she really wants is to make her body match her insides, how she feels.
She doesn't need magic for that. She can do that just by going and seeing a doctor.
Oh, come on. We both know doctors are like basically hacks. Like, dude, if you can do it through magic, it's so much safer. Come on.
And doctors can only do so much. They can't make them work.
Exactly.
They can't make the parts work right.
Well, maybe that part that she can do magically, but the actual physical change, she doesn't need the magic for. She can get that done professionally.
And Brandon says, I'm aware. I have told her as much. She doesn't want to listen. And she just tells me to shut up and enjoy the benefits I have gotten from our demon friend here.
Auron just kind of pinches the bridge of his nose. Why does this feel like such a really bad remake of Bible Black?
Never heard of that.
I don't know, but compassion, maybe. Sorry.
Bible Black is a hentai anime.
Okay. Auron, can you do another read on the demon, as it is your specialty?
Alright, and it's perception, empathy again?
Yeah, exact same roll as last time.
Okay, and difficulty?
Same.
Okay. 5 successes.
Yeah, she is super over it. You can see her, she's almost pouting and sulking.
He just kind of looks at her. Why, other than the fact you were captured, why do you put up with this?
Only because I was captured. And you see her actually fighting against her bonds. Let me tell the truth.
Auron will look down at the desk. Is Brendan's hands happen to be on the desk?
One hand is on the desk and the other is fiddling with a ring on his finger.
So basically his hands are together?
Yeah.
Alright, 1 second. And I still can't feel my magic here?
Correct.
Alright, give me 1 moment to think.
And she kind of points with her eyes, just looking at the ring and back at you, and looking at the ring and back at you.
Do I notice this or just him?
Roll perception and empathy.
Okay.
And it's subtle, but not too subtle, so I'll say it's a 5 for you. You do pick it up near the end. Just
all right.
Very faint, like she's trying to speak with her eyes when she can't with her mouth.
Is there anything I can do?
You see her struggle and say, no. As she shakes against her.
Auron will turn around and put his back to Brandon and the demon. and mouth to Portia. Do you have your knife on you?
Yes. Or I nod. And I
Give it.
reach into my bag and pull it out.
Auron will take it, quietly open it, and as he goes to turn, and I know I'm going to have to make a roll for this, hold it behind his back as he's turning.
Okay, that would be dexterity plus subterfuge. And difficulty 6. Just basic.
And he sees it.
Well, the demon sees it. But you do make a lot of noise and he spins. He's like, the hell are you doing? Don't you have friends to rescue?
Yeah, and whatever I can get out of this will help.
I
And
mean, you're here for a reason, Bubby.
Auron will try to. That's gonna be hard. But he's gonna try to pull the knife around and try to stab it through his hand into the desk.
Okay. Violence. That is going to be a dexterity and athletics. No, melee. And it will be a contested roll. So you roll first, and he will have to roll his dexterity and athletics to dodge.
Okay, and what would I type in for the difficulty with that since it's an opposed roll?
It really doesn't matter because we will... do 6 because that is the standard.
Okay.
So 1 success. Tie and attacker wins, which means you've got a knife in Brandon Sanderson's hand.
Is it stabbed all the way through into the desk?
Yes.
Take off the ring. Release her from her bonds. And then take us to your sister.
I can't take off the ring with a knife through my hand. Ow!
Holy fuck.
Can you pull the... I mean, I think you'd have an easier time getting the ring off my hand than I would at this point.
Portia, do you have anything that I can put on my hand to grab this ring?
I have rope. What do you mean? Like a glove?
Glove.
T-shirt? I have an extra
Any-
t-shirt.
Okay. He puts his hand out to his left side up in the air. Like, well, kind of.
And Brandon just yells, "Oh, for fuck's sake, just pull it off. It's not trapped.
No.
Just get the knife out of me."
Does he get the shirt?
Does
Portia.
Yes. What?
Do you hand the shirt to Auron?
Yeah, totally. I thought he grabbed it. I'm sorry. I thought I was handing it over.
Okay.
Hands over shirt to grab.
Okay, he'll reach over, wrap with his hand wrapped in the shirt, pull the glove or pull the ring off, and then at a second later pull the knife out of his hand.
Okay.
One more dexterity, and this one will be dexterity plus athletics.
For him or both of us?
Just Auron.
Okay.
What was the difficulty again?
This is 2 maneuvers close to each other, so we'll say it's a 7.
Okay, and I believe I was correct earlier. Whenever you use a willpower, it adds a dice, correct?
Well, the way Sako plays it is that it is botch protection.
Oh, okay. All right, then I will spend a willpower to prevent a botch.
Okay. And that was it. Oh, one success. Good. You managed to do it without causing more damage to Brandon Sanderson's hand. And you have the ring. And
Yay! Do I
the
take it and
demon,
put it in my bag?
the demon relaxes for a moment, and then she looks at. Wait, did you take the ring from Auron?
Yeah, I used the shirt right on his hand and pulled the ring off of his hand.
No, I'm saying because it sounded like Katarina took the ring from you and put it in her
Oh,
bag.
yeah, I thought I wrapped it and put it in the bag. But if you still have it, that's fine.
Yeah, it's still in my hand.
Okay, my bad.
So the demon looks at Auron and says, "Can you please smash it? As a bargain, I will remove all the magic I have put on this house and leave. No tricks, nothing. Just smash that fucking ring."
All right.
I shrugged
but
my
but
shoulders. Sounds good.
before I say anything, can I roll? And I'm lawyering for this. Can I roll perception alertness?
And what are you trying to do?
Basically, read her to see if she's lying.
Sure. And I will make that a 5. As far as you can tell, she is completely sincere. This is her out. This is her freedom.
Then he will look her in the eyes. Is there anything around the room that I could place the ring on, other than the desk?
Nothing solid. Everything is like bed and chair, like cushy chair.
Okay. Is there bare floor that doesn't have a rug on it?
It's carpeted.
Oh, it's carpeted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I'll have to go on the desk. You have a deal, and he'll place the ring on the desk, pick up the sledgehammer from the floor, and swing to hit it.
Nah. Well, I'll say dexterity plus athletics, but a difficulty of 1.
Okay,
Wait,
I
think the minimum I can do is 2.
Yeah, I think it's 2.
This is just to see how good your aim is. Yeah, it's fine. You don't hit Brandon Sanderson's hand.
Well, I wasn't putting it that close because there was a possibility he could go and try and grab it.
Yeah, but a failed roll would mean your aim is sucky.
Oh.
And a botch would have meant you actually killed Brandon Sanderson.
Ouch.
All right. Ring breaks. The demon just sighs and waves her hand, and magic has returned.
Whoa. Far out.
And she turns to Brandon and says, "The only thing I did for you is get you in touch with an agent, with the right agent. Your books are fine. You don't need me. Get out of here and live your fucking life." And she vanishes.
Auron will look at Brandon. Now, I will make you a deal. You get us to, we take care of your other brother, and then you take us to your sister, and I will make sure that Max will heal that knife wound.
Well, you definitely need to do it in that order because Soren's got the physical key to the lock on the elevator.
Good. Walk in front of us.
And he does. So we will zoom over to John and Raena. You are going down the winding stone staircase. All right, Raena, John's got your back.
Okay, we're going down the staircase. I'm prepared. What am I seeing when I go down the staircase?
Filthy, filthy, filthy is what you see.
Oh, hot. Love
And
that.
not dirt, filth.
I was hoping that's what you meant.
Soren is having a good time.
Raena is not super exposed to stuff like this, so I'm just kind of looking around as I'm trying to find where I'm going. Like, what is that? Oh, Jesus Christ, what is that? What is that? Like, just the whole way. What is happening? But, where's my destination? Do I just start walking into random doors? Because that's probably what I'm gonna do.
No, it's an open space, and he doesn't see you because he's preoccupied. So you have the opportunity to do what you choose to do.
I choose to sneak as to not draw attention to myself. Do I see anything like in plain sight that I can use as a reference as to what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, I'm saving Max, right?
No, Max is upstairs,
Oh, okay.
but you had no way to get on that elevator at that point.
Oh, yeah. So I'm looking for a way to get to the elevator?
I think you guys were trying to rescue the boys.
Okay, I knew I was rescuing someone, but I couldn't figure out who I
Fortunately, the boys don't look like they're in immediate danger. Well, of, losing their lives.
Mm. Are they accessible, or are they in the entanglement going on?
They are in the entanglement, and from what you can tell, they're not really with it. They're
Okay.
completely enthralled.
Unthrilled, but they're like consciously here, right? Like,
Right.
okay, so obviously I want to stop that from happening. I want to check my surroundings and see if there's anything.
There is a lot of furniture that you don't recognize and are not sure what it's for, but there's lots of rings and straps and other things.
Okay. Would I be able to sneak up behind him and tie his arms together? Or, well, that would take communication. Because I was thinking that the guys could, like, hold his arms back behind him and they could just, chow, 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 but no, that would take communication. I do want to sneak up on him and, what's the word? Tie him up, essentially. But I want to stop him from doing what he's doing. But he's a
Do you want to
vampire.
incapacitate him?
So, any advice or how I can approach this with my surroundings being what they are.
What is your dexterity like? And let's see, I would say firearms.
I have 3 in dexterity and 2 in firearms.
Then first take a wits and occult roll
Okay.
to see if you have an idea.
What's the difficulty?
Well, since you've come across vampires before, I'd say probably you've read up a little bit on it, so this will be a 5.
3 successes.
You know that wood through the heart will paralyze a vampire completely, and you're a damn good shot.
Okay. So I choose to shoot from afar, which makes sense. So I will do that.
All right. Firearms plus dexterity,
Okay.
and because you know you need it to be sharpened wood, you have to take the arrowhead off,
Okay.
which makes it a difficulty of 7 because it doesn't fly quite right.
Okay. 2 successes.
All right. Your arrow flies true, and the vampire collapses. And you notice that he's got... Well, first you notice that the boys just dropped to the floor, but they're breathing.
Okay.
But he's also got a key around his neck on a chain.
Okay, so I grab the key first, and on the way, I circle around to check out to see if the guys are okay.
They are unconscious, well, dazed. Like, their eyes are open, but their mouths are kind of smiley. And you do notice that several of them have puncture wounds, but they're still alive, which means that Soren fed but didn't drain.
Mm. Okay.
So Soren knows what's food and what's toy.
That's hot. Um,
Now, Alan, are you good to come back?
Absolutely.
So Raena has just downed the vampire.
Okay, so first off, very nicely done. I'll
Thank
go
you.
over and start checking out the boys.
Healthy, robust, just not mentally there. Still probably trying to shake off the effects of the vampire's power.
All right, with the last one that I checked, there's a little something that we sometimes do with people that are having neurological issues, where you pinch up a bit of skin and you stick the finger from your other hand into where it's pinched and push in, and it feels very much like you're getting a shot. And with some conditions, it wakes them right up. Does that help with this guy?
Let's see. Roll your intelligence plus medicine.
Okay.
And this is not really a roll to find out if you knew what you were doing. It's to find out if it worked on this particular case. And, difficulty is 6. Ooh, okay. So this particular case, it is not an effective treatment.
Okay.
However, as you are trying that, you and Raena both feel your connection to magic come back.
Ooh, I just got all tingly.
Your sparkly bits, they're back.
My sparkly bits are where they're supposed to be.
I think I'll bite my tongue on the sharper mark for that. And
But why?
try to stand this guy up.
Are you trying to be the only adult in the room?
For the moment.
Okay. So you have a vampire that is paralyzed but not dead.
Mhm.
You have a key, which is probably to the elevator. You have your powers back. And you have 5 semi-conscious young men.
Do we have a Max?
No, Max was upstairs with Dot.
Okay.
She took him upstairs.
So yeah, I'm just trying to get these kids to wake up enough where they can walk and maybe make a decision on their own.
Would you like to use magic?
Sure.
What are you using? What are you using as
I'm
your
going to
focus?
use my medical bag that I always have with me.
All right. Then first we will do your arete roll. Oh wait, and it will be no, the arete roll is second. First, it will be intelligence plus medicine. Difficulty 6. And that tells us how many dice we take off the arete roll. Or how much difficulty we take off of it. I remember how this works. 4 successes. All right, so it's a difficulty of 2 on your arete roll.
Oh my, that's harsh.
So it's 3 dice, 2 difficulty. You have 0 problem with when you actually can use your magic on them to snap them out of it. You are like a walking smelling salt.
That would be awesome.
Take a shower, man.
All right, so you have 5 awake boys, and they are quite confused as to why they are not dressed and in a dungeon.
Oh, my heart. I will do whatever I can to make them feel safe because that's horrifying. I will
around. Is there anything that might be a container for their clothes around here?
Container for their what?
Clothing.
Clothing? Okay. Yeah, it muffled, and I thought you said fluids, and I was like, excuse me?
Well, that's lying on the ground with an arrow through it.
Yes, he is. Yes, you do see a trunk that looks like it is open with clothing in it.
All right. I'll just grab that by the handle, pull it over to them. Take what's yours, boys.
They look relieved, but still very confused as they quickly get dressed.
Okay. What do you boys remember?
We lit the candle. We cast the spell from the book. And Soren started singing, and then we were here.
Okay. So Soren gave you a drugged candle, and you lit it. It started releasing the drugs.
Oh,
The drugs
man.
have. Wait, let me finish. The drugs have an effect that we call retrograde amnesia. It causes you not to remember things that happened after the drug has stopped working. Once the drug has stopped working, you start forgetting things that happened beforehand, which is why everything's a little bit of an issue for you. Now, here's the important thing. This lady and I are with the police. We're the ones that handle people like Soren. Whatever you do remember, you must not speak of, because if the wrong people hear it or it gets repeated to the wrong people, it'll interfere with our investigation. And there's hundreds of boys and girls like you that we might not be able to save if we move them because they know we're investigating.
And your speech is sinking in, but they also catch that Soren is on the floor with wood sticking out of his back.
Right.
And not breathing.
That's the way we had to do with him, but there's over 1,000 like him that we're trying to find.
Okay. Yeah, last time we trust a college guy.
There's a lot of people worth trusting. Just be a little more careful.
I was muted, but I said preach.
How do we get out of here?
Come right this way. Actually, I'll pull a notebook out of my pocket. Let me have your names and addresses, and just write in. I'm not going to talk about what I saw on today's date, and sign it for me. One to a page.
They do what you ask, and they're like, "Okay, but how do we get home?"
We'll call you guys Ubers. It's Montreal, so we will call you guys les Uberes.
All right. So where? Okay. So we'll wait by the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, "Where is the entrance?"
Come on.
Get up, Sorry.
I will call and tell them we've got like these 5 separate 5 people needing separate rides. I will give them one of the credit cards I don't use a lot, and once I'm done with the numbers and all, just once I'm done with the call, flash the card real quick, stick it back in my wallet. It's great having a police card. You can do anything you want with it.
All right. And so are you leading them back up the stairs into the entrance? Okay.
Yep.
And as you walk, you do notice that while the cases are still there, the candles are no longer lit.
Okay. I'm good with that. It was some vampiric power that was keeping them going.
All right. So what are Auron and Portia coming back out of that area? Oh, yeah, they were coming back with Brandon. As you are walking down the hallway back to the stage area, you see that John and Raena are leading the boys to the front. They are like outside of the stage room in the main hallway, and you can see them leading the boys to the front.
Auron would tap his headset. Raena, after you're done with them, come talk to me. We'll be in the main room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So I will assume you have the boys situated, and they are waiting for their Ubers. And does John go with Raena back to the main room?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you are all back together. Uh, we'll say inside the cage, with the door wide open.
Auron will look at Raena and John. Well, I see you were able to take care of Soren. Do you
Well,
have the key?
I have a key. I don't know what the key is.
It's to call the elevator down.
Oh,
And you see him kind of have his hand on his left hand on Brandon's right shoulder.
And you also see that Brandon is clutching his hand, which is dripping blood.
Had to do a little bit of convincing.
Yeah. I see your hand. I'll type. I'll push it. I'll look at the wound. I'll push in a few times, harder than is necessary to make the pain worse. Flip his arm over real quick to look at the wound from the other side. Yeah, I can fix that. Go into my bag, get the bandages. Hit the nerves a couple more times, more harder than I needed, and get them wrapped up.
All right. And we'll say that you can get the bleeding stopped pretty easily. Well, you get the wounds covered, so it'll stop when it stops.
It'll stop once it's soaked the bandages because it'll start to clot and there'll be nowhere for more blood to go.
Oh, yeah. You two also notice that the demon is not there.
Okay.
where did the demon go?
Did a half-sided deal or one-sided deal. We got her out of her bonds with Nimrod over here. She stopped the magic protections again, or the blocking magic.
Oh, so that's what happened. That makes sense.
Yeah. She really didn't want to be here.
I like the idea that we all collectively got tingly at the same time. Feels like bonding.
How very sensate of you.
Auron kind of shifts his stance.
So, upstairs?
Upstairs.
Yeah. He'll direct Brandon over to where the elevator is. Where I put it in.
What happened to Soren?
He is having a nice little rest. He's having a nap right now. I'll go deal with him when we're done rescuing Max.
And Raena just says, Soren's not here, Mrs. Torrance.
Auron just kind of eyes Raena like, okay.
John eyes Raena like, okay.
Well, at least he's not running amok.
Amok.
Thank you. You call the elevator. It comes down. And yeah, you ride up to the lab to see what's on the slab.
What if I refuse? I'm just kidding. I'm done. After all that, I gotta know. Plus Max. Okay, carrying on.
Okay, so we get up to the floor.
Yeah, you get up. It opens. There is a lot of, like, it looks like alchemy stuff set up. Books around the room. It looks like a stereotypical wizard's lair. Max is still tied to the chair that was dragged up here. And Dot's like, okay, then. I assume this means that Brandon's here. And your hand is cut and you have no ring. Excellent. You're useless. Soren is useless. I will have to deal with these people on my own.
All right, Dot. Here's the thing. Brandon had informed me of why you're doing this. How about we do this a simpler way?
I'm listening.
You let us have Max back. And I personally will try to convince him to teach you life magic so that you can get what you want. We also have another person here also that can teach you life magic. And he gestures over to John. We just do not want anything happening to him.
Roll me. Let's see. You're not lying, so charisma mixed with empathy to see if your words get through to her.
This is gonna hurt.
Would you like to use a willpower?
Yes. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 6. It's not especially hard or especially easy.
I kind of wish or I hope the dice gods favor me today. Oh my god.
You have convinced Dot Sanderson to let Max free.
I'm just gonna be over here for a second, collecting myself.
Raena starts a slow clap.
And at this moment, you have no conscious enemies in the house.
Good. Now I'm going to look around on this floor and see if I can find either a linen closet or a bathroom. When I find it, I'm going to take out the absorbent sheets and stuff and towels and whatever. And I'm going to head down to where the vampire is.
All right. No problem.
When
What is your intention?
I am going to remove the top of his body without getting covered in blood.
Not actually a problem. Let's see. What do you have? Oh, didn't you bring a big old axe?
I did.
That axe will do the trick nicely. The world is down one vampire.
Put some towels and sheets under his head. Put more towels and sheets on top of his head, and hit his neck and head as many times as it takes for a big piece to come off. I have melee.
Just for fun, let's do dexterity plus athletics.
Not melee?
Difficulty 6. There's no fight, so there's no losing. Oh, you succeed rather quickly. Yeah, that was just to see how long it took. And a botch would mean I'd have to go to the other people and do their story while you're hacking at the vampire's neck. But
I'll bring her arrow back after cleaning it off. But
everything is taken care of downstairs. You have the number. Well, Max has the number of Dot Sanderson, and vice versa, so they can be in contact. And he's like, Dot, no more kidnapping, no more trying to steal magic when you can just learn it from someone else, please. And I'm going to roll charisma plus empathy for Max.
Is she a mage or a vampire or what?
Mage.
What's she look like?
She is not very female passing. Okay, so Max, she does barely listen to Max and grudgingly says, "Fine, we'll do this the legal way."
You know what? Yeah. Once she's done with Max, I'm just gonna kind of slide up to her a little bit and could I get your number, please?
She gives you her number.
Okay.
Auron will look at her. May I ask, what organization are you a part of as a mage?
I'm not.
Okay,
There are
understood.
organizations.
Yes. There are different houses and traditions.
Oh. I have never come across any other people like me.
Have you been so you've been doing this blind?
Yeah. There's like a structure?
Of sorts.
Well, shit.
Let me get in contact with someone and we'll see what we could do about
I'm back.
at least getting you, other than what Max teaches you, the basics.
I would appreciate that. And as you're talking to her, Max is using healing magic on Brandon Sanderson's hand.
Auron will look over at Brandon. I'm sorry I had to do that, but you needed coaxing.
Yeah, I get it.
You're lucky it was him and not me.
But hopefully, everything goes fine. Honestly, for you, I would take Beasel's advice. Get out of here and wait for your book to get published.
She said my books were good enough to stand on their own, so I hope she wasn't lying.
Well, how I see it, when she was basically telling me she needed to be out of bonds, I could tell she wasn't lying to me.
That's good to know.
So if she doesn't lie to someone she doesn't know at all, she's probably telling you the truth.
And he gives like a half chuckle. It's like, all this time I thought I was selling my books because of her.
Well, like she had said, she got you hooked up with the right agent. So of sorts, she did.
I've got a lot to work on. Okay. Sis, it was good. Not really hanging out with you. I I'm going to head back to where I'm from, and maybe keep in touch if you want to stay on the good guy side. And do you let him head off to the elevator?
Auron does.
Okay. Then he heads out. So you all exchange information with Dot and head out. When you get to the entrance of the mansion, you see that none of the boys are there anymore. So hopefully the Ubers have taken them home. And it's
I
just...
waited with them until the others.
Oh, you did? Okay. In that case, yeah, well, they're still gone. So you reach Raina's car, and sitting on the passenger seat is a black cat.
Auron will walk back inside the building. And did Dot follow them out, or did she stay in the lab?
She stayed in the lab.
He'll go back upstairs. Dot, I have a request.
What is it?
Would you be able to turn Jet back into a human?
I don't know transformation magic. That's why I have to learn it.
Okay. I just figured I would ask, because since there was 3 of you...
You have a friend that was turned to a cat?
She was one of the ones that were with you guys.
I didn't personally go.
So
I
it was
was here.
So it was just Auron then.
Yeah. Soren and Beelzebubs. He took her. So it's probably demon magic.
Alright. Thank you for the information.
But I felt her leave. Was your friend not here when the magic was taken back?
No, she, from what she had, because when she came to us, she stated that after the spell was cast, she woke up outside of the house.
No, I mean when Beelzebubs left, was she not in the house?
No, she was outside in our vehicle.
Then she was not caught in the pulling back of magic.
No.
I don't know how to fix her.
Well, hopefully I can find somebody who can.
And do you head back out to the car?
Yeah.
Who do you let know? Do you let anyone know?
I let the entire group know, including Jet.
Okay, so it was demon magic that changed her, and you're not... No one of the 4 of you plus Jet plus Dot know a way to reverse demon magic. And with that, we'll call it a game.
Woo!
Bravo! Round of applause! Yay! No, but seriously, good game.
That was really fun.
Yes.
I really enjoyed all the references. It was delightful.
Oh, thank you. I don't know what Sako will declare as experience in any way, shape, or form. So once she hears the broadcast, she can tell us what's going on. Just in case,
Cool.
let us find out what people feel about like good, bads, and ugly.
I thought it was a great, fun storyline. Everybody had stuff to do. The camp was just mwah, loved it. Yeah, I'd probably give my point to Mr. Auron, who took charge. But it was fun. It was fun. I loved it all. It was so silly and great and just like scary, but not. And it was great. I really enjoy that level of camp. It makes me happy. I love references. I was just like, yes.
And the song.
Now we're just going to
It was
reduce your
delightful.
coffee intake for these references.
All right, so you would give your experience to Auron, okay?
Yes.
Let's go to Auron.
All right. It was a really good special episode. My only bad is that the sun decided to kind of make it too bright my apartment, so I started getting a migraine part of the way through.
Oh, poor baby.
But I'd say, this is hard. And that's what she said.
Ooh, that was a stiff one.
Exactly. And that's what he said.
That's what Soren said.
I thought he was said, watch out, it's slippery when wet. Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna give the ugly to Raena because she was able to one-shot Soren. I was fully expecting that to probably end up as an actual conflict that me and Portia would have to show up and help in.
No.
Well, I loved the two parts, and I liked they interacted with each other. That was fun. That was a fun little yay.
Raena stealth sniped a vampire.
Love it.
With a bow. That was rad.
So
Raina's
basically,
a beast.
now Raina's a hunter.
Okay, let us go to Raena.
I had a lot of fun. I made French toast.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It is. It's really good.
Oh,
Um,
I'm very here for
that's
I might have
fun.
to make French toast. Okay.
The Rocky Horror references were astounding. I'm so happy we did this game.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline, it just kept going in such a great direction. I was so stoked the whole time. I was like, yeah, we're doing it. And then I don't really have any bads. The football in the background was a little distracting at first, but I ended up.
I'm so sorry about that.
It just ended, but I stopped hearing it, so maybe I blanked it out. And but that wasn't too bad. In my experience, it goes to John for the fuck what.
It was a good zinger, and it was early on, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
The very beginning, it set us off right. It's just it holds to this time.
And John.
Well, it was an enormous amount of fun. The plot made sense. The movie references were hilarious. Nothing bad to report. And for my ugly, I think Raena for just the general happiness and excitement.
Excellent.
Thanks.
And like I said, Sako will get to decide storyteller experience. Whether there is any or not, I don't know, because this can be completely non-canon. She can also decide whether it's canon or not, because I did not put a date on it, which means it can take place at any point. So that is a thing. So she can decide whether we have a demon ensorcelled black cat to unensorcel, and
Love it.
whether we have Dot Sanderson to train. But that is up to her. And at this point, we will say good night, everybody, and roll credits. Do, 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 do.
There would be